Radio Main News, the headlines. FRA procures grain dryers to improve the agriculture sector. Latest Human Rights Watch report suggests violation of environmental laws. And 6 takeaways from Trump's big speech. This bulletin is also live on our Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie. Agriculture Minister Ruben Mtolo has applauded the board and management of the Food Reserve Agency FRA for heeding the government's call to embrace the use of grain dryers. During the handover of the equipment, Mr. Mtolo said the use of grain dryers will enable the agency to commence the crop marketing exercise earlier, as the dryers will help manage the moisture content in the grains. Moisture dryers the government is handing over have been procured by the agency at a cost of $1,076,906. He also mentioned that the machines will be available for hire by stakeholders who may require the services of a grain dryer. The minister made these remarks in a speech read on his behalf by the Permanent Secretary for Technical Services in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. John Mulongoti.
This is an important event in the history of agriculture in our country. As you are aware, the government has set priorities to achieve 10 million metric tons of maize production, 1 million metric tons in soybean production, and 1 million metric tons wheat production by the year 2027. For these targets to be achieved as planned, we need innovations like the one we are witnessing today. His Excellency, Mr. Hake.
And speaking during the same event, FRA Board Chairperson Suresh Desai says the machinery will be significant to all the stakeholders in the farming community.
The Food Reserve Agency from commencing early crop marketing exercise. This means now that we will be able to take in even grain which has got a higher moisture content and dry it out using this machinery and put it into safe storage for food security. Distinguished invited ladies and gentlemen, this machinery will be made available to all categories of the farming community that would like to process their crop.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the Livestock Services Cooperative Society. Speaking during the signing ceremony, Fisheries and Livestock Minister Peter Kapala says the agreement is a huge milestone as a collective resolve for the country to enhance livestock production towards meeting the 7.4 million targets by 2027. He says the collaboration focuses on operationalizing the liquid nitrogen plant located at Mazabuka Nitrogen Station in Southern Province. The minister says the liquid nitrogen plant will therefore be used to preserve and store semen for breeding purposes, while the plant will facilitate long-term storage and genetics, which are key to improve and grow livestock production.
Provide liquid nitrogen to farmers across the country through established artificial insemination satellite centers for the preservation of semen. As you may be aware, liquid nitrogen plays an essential role in animal farming, especially in the storage of semen. Liquid nitrogen is vital in livestock husbandry because it is used for semen storage, artificial insemination, and freeze branding. The liquid nitrogen plant that the MOU operationalizes will therefore be used to preserve and store semen for breeding purposes.
Associate Director Children's Rights Julian Kippenberg has condemned the government's delay in protecting human rights, particularly child rights in Kabwe, where the right to a healthy environment is being violated daily. Speaking at the Human Rights Watch report launch in Lusaka, Ms. Kippenberg urged the Zambian government to enforce the law and suspend operations and revoke licenses of companies involved in hazardous mining, removal, and processing of lead-bearing waste in Kabwe. Ms. Kippenberg emphasized that instead of facilitating mining, the government should conduct a comprehensive cleanup program for the former lead mine and its waste, consulting affected communities, civil society, and experts. She noted that while the effort is expensive, inaction is also costly as lead poisonous poses a significant economic burden, according to a World Bank study. Ms. Kippenberg has called upon the government to prioritize children's health over mining profits.
Activities I just described by issuing mining and processing licenses for some of the companies involved. Under Zambian mining law, the government has the authority to sanction companies because of unsafe working environment or uncontrollable pollution. That's quotes from Article 36 of the Zambia mining law. To Human Rights Watch's knowledge, the government of Zambia has not taken steps against these businesses. It has also rarely used its authority to suspend these operations where they take place without a valid license or without an approved environmental impact assessment. The government has clearly not done enough to protect human rights, and particularly child rights in Kabwe. The right to a healthy environment is being violated on a daily basis.
Enrollment in early childhood education ECE has seen a remarkable increase from about 336,000 in 2021 to over 651,000 in 2024. This growth has been attributed to government's introduction of the free education policy. Mr. Cham Kalimbika, the Director of Childhood Education in the Ministry of Education, has pointed out that the policy has not only boosted enrollment, but also led to the establishment of ECE centers in government primary schools. Speaking on the Edu Talk Zone, a community and Minister of Education information dissemination talk show, Mr. Kalimbika said in 2021, the ECE enrollment was 336,434, and by 2024, it had risen to 651,791. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education is constructing 460 ECE hub centers across the country. Of these, 440 are being built through the Zambia Enhancing Early Learning Project funded by the Global Partnership for Education, while the Zambian government is directly funding 20 centers.
Therefore, as a department, we play a big role. But suffice to say, I must mention that before the new curriculum, our mandate was to look at children aged 3 to 6 years. The reason is that at that time, children were entering grade 1 at the age of 7. With the new 2023 education curriculum framework, the mandate has shifted.
And in other news trending this evening, the Transparency International Zambia TIZ analysis of the Special Audit Report on the Constituency Development Fund CDF reviews the concerning picture of limited capacity of local authorities, significant financial irregularities and governance weaknesses, as well as underperformance of constituencies in utilizing CDF funds. The Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, through the Road Development Agency RDA, has embarked on the rehabilitation of 13 kilometers of the Bailede Road in Chirundu district. Stand by for business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Labor and Social Security Minister Brenda Tambatamba has revealed that the National Pension Scheme Authority Fund has first tremendous growth from 54 billion kwacha in 2021 to 94 billion kwacha by December 2024. This represents 57% growth of the fund. The minister stated that the growth of the fund is as a result of the UPND administration promotion of accountability, transparent and responsible President Hakainde Hichilema has outlined. She said this during the official launch of the Tripartite Consultative Labour Council, TCLC, this morning.
So it is possible that we can do, and yes, we can if we organize ourselves properly. The Workers' Compensation Fund has also grown from 3.74 billion kwacha in the year 2022 to 5.14 billion kwacha. So 5 billion plus from 3 billion 2024 to 2022 to 2024, a 38% growth. These achievements are well aligned to the UPND manifesto's objective of diversification of retirement income sources across providers and financing firms.
Ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in foreign news, President Donald Trump declared the American dream is unstoppable as he addressed a raucous joint session of the U.S. Congress for the first time since he returned to power. In the longest presidential speech to lawmakers on record, he outlined his vision for his second term as Republicans applauded a high-octane 6 weeks that has reshaped domestic and foreign policy. Trump was heckled by Democrats and he girded them in turn during the rowdy primetime address, during which he said his administration was just getting started. And in sports news, the 2025 ABSA Cup has received a major financial boost, with this year's champions said to walk away with 1 million kwacha, up from 800,000 kwacha in 2024. Runners-up will also benefit from an increase, now receiving 400,000 kwacha, up from last year's 350,000 kwacha. The travel subsidy has been increased to 50,000 kwacha, though this may vary depending on the geographical location of the teams participating, with longer distances attracting the full package. For the second time in the tournament's history, the ABSA Cup will feature 21 teams after the Football Association of Zambia FAZ and ABSA Bank Zambia PLC approved a major format revamp last year. The competition will consist of 10 provincial teams, 7 MTN Super League teams, and 4 Zambia Premier League National League teams. And now the weather.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is partly cloudy and warm to mild with chance of isolated rains. That weather item brings us to the end of the news part. Before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Agriculture Minister Ruben Mtolo has applauded the board and management of the Food Reserve Agency FRA for heeding the government's call to embrace the use of grain dryers. Associate Director Children's Rights Julian Kippenberg has condemned the government's delays in protecting human rights, particularly child rights in Kabwe, where the rights to a healthy environment is being violated daily. And finally, President Donald Trump declared the American dream is unstoppable as he addressed a raucous joint session of the U.S. Congress for the first time since he returned to power. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Hyper World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Do have a pleasant evening.